I'm John Koon, and this is Vidalia City School News, an inside look at the happenings of the Vidalia City School System. Today, we talk with junior ROTC instructor, Captain DeCarlos Ware. Captain Ware, first of all, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate you taking time and being with us through this whole scenario of being out of school and not being able to be around your guys. What have you been doing to try to, for the lack of a better term, stay sane through all this?
Well, sir, first and foremost, just the honey-do list has grown and taking care of things around the house, and it's given me the opportunity to actually get ahead for next year. So that's been the gist of me just trying to stay sane.
When you think about your guys and your girls, when you think about your crew, what kind of strain do you think this has put on them? I mean, have you been able to stay in touch with them through all this?
Yes, sir, I have been able to stay in touch with a few of them. And the thing that bothered me is that a lot of kids were undecided when all this happened. So some kids have not applied for college, and some kids had achieved the high score that they need to join the military. So those are the kids that I was concerned about. We had a few that had already committed, but had more non-committed than committed. So that's been my main concern.
You were in service for 23 years, did 2 tours in Iraq. How did you get from that point to being a junior ROTC instructor?
Wow, that's an interesting question. I heard about JROTC, but I didn't understand the nature of JROTC. But once I talked to some friends, things of that nature that was already out here, I thought, I mean, that's the greatest job in the world, that I can continue to wear the uniform and continue to serve my country and pass those lessons learned off to the young kids, future leaders of America. So I love it.
What was the deciding factor for you to be able to get out of regular military, obviously retire and do what you've been doing to get to the point now where you have one of the preeminent in the state of Georgia groups here, and what pushed you over the edge?
I finally realized that over the years, the things that I was trying to do to be successful, I put that in my head that I was trying to do that to be successful, but at the same time, I realized I was being a little more selfish, and I just got tired of the family struggling and dragging them around from place to place, and I felt like it was time. My daughter, she was in the 9th grade when I decided to retire, and I just thought it was time to come home, and it's been those last 4 years for her.
When you talk about the group of students that you have with junior ROTC and what has happened to build this program, you have taken that to another level. What is the motivating factor for a student to be able to join junior ROTC?
I'm glad you brought that up, sir, because initially when I took over the program, I wanted to lose the facade of JROTC was primarily for kids that was always in trouble or whatnot. But I wanted to focus on that. We weren't a scared straight program, in that our focus was on leadership, taking kids that were already solid and providing that leadership and that resilient mindset that you can do anything that you focus on. So that's pretty much it.
For those who do not know what junior ROTC is and what it does, give us a little background.
The theme of JROTC is motivating students to be better citizens. And the good thing about the program is we talk about a variety of things. And the main thing is just teaching, coaching, and mentoring those kids that some of them don't get on a day-to-day basis. That's pretty much what we're about, just being out for the community and making kids better.
Is it a leadership type organization to whether you want to go into the military or not go into the military, moving into a leadership role when you go to that next step?
Yes, you hit it on the head. I mean, and that's the biggest misconception that we want to clear up, is that most people think being a part of JROTC that you have to join the Army. And it's more about the leadership aspect of life in general, regardless of what you're going to do. We give those abilities, and we build traits that's going to have them ready to face the real world, not necessarily the military. And at the same time, we've had some kids, Chayton Tippett, he just joined, he's going to be an officer. He's going to North Georgia College. So we've had success there as well, so.
One of your former students here wasn't in JRTC, but you helped them get in ROTC in college. And tell us about McClellan and how you helped him to be able to get where he is now.
Well, he's a good kid. I always hate when I get those kids that don't go through the program and end up going to ROTC in college or whatnot. But I was just able to sit down and talk to him and let him know the benefits of not having to pay for college and things of that nature. He's a solid kid. He's always come around, ask a lot of questions, and I would integrate him as much as possible whenever we had the opportunity to do some training. So
there's a lot of different things that your organization can do for students, and I guess that's the big one, to be able to get them into that next leadership role. But while they're in school, what are they doing in your class? And what is the specific things that you do in your class?
Now, one of the biggest things that I love the community to understand is that the kids, they run everything. So every time you see us in the community, any type of an event, my leadership, they're planning and training 6 weeks out. So that way, when people call and want us to do things, we just don't say no. We tell them, hey, we committed to X, Y, and Z. So those are the biggest things that they do. They run the program.
Are they drilling every day and just getting better, or are you instilling different classes in that whole process? Tell us a little bit about that.
It's more scenario training. It's a lot of training scenario driven. We put them in scenarios because a lot of the kids, that's the best way to teach is scenario driven episodes, so that's a lot that we do. And a lot of it is it's the same as a typical class, but it's not a lot of yelling and drilling and don't do this, don't do that. I mean, it's a regular class.
Your brigade, as I said, has won many awards since the inception, and it just keeps growing. One of the things that people may not know is that out at SECA, Career Academy, you guys have access to an obstacle course that helps you in your competitions.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a big recruiting tool that we use. And first and foremost, to kind of go back a little bit, is that we have 4 schools that make our program, that brings our program together. And without the support that we get from administrators or whatnot, this could not work. But going back to the obstacle course, it's a huge recruiting incentive. The kids like it, and we're kind of like in our own world out there.
What does the competition look like most time when you guys go to competitions?
The competition, Raiders, we have that's from the beginning of school to about October frame time. And every Saturday we travel from school to school, and the kids get to compete 3 miles and various obstacles and things of that nature. And we've been doing good. So right now, set back a little bit because we don't have time to train now, but we'll work through it.
What kind of obstacles does that put up for you now that you haven't been able to train during these last 4 to 6 weeks and really don't know when you're going to be able to start? Are you trying to tell them to a routine that they can stay in and give them a plan?
No, well, everything's a learning opportunity, and right now this learning opportunity is self-discipline. So you have to be able to take it amongst yourself to do those things that you know that we should be doing at this time. So it's on them to kind of put it together.
What's the future hold? What are some of the things that you want to see happen with your program, and where do you want to go?
I want more kids. I want more of the kids of higher learning to join the program because it provides so many skills and it provides so much leadership for them. And I just want people to realize that it's not just for kids that's trying to get on the straight and narrow, that we're providing leadership for the future leaders of America.
As we close out, I'm going to give you a chance for your sales pitch right here to reach out to not only your students but also parents who might need this information. So what do you want to say to them to try to get them involved in junior ROTC, and also maybe to your cadets that may be watching this and yearning to get back into that classroom situation?
Great. I tell the parents now that we're at the block training is only 3 semesters that the kids have to give up, but I can promise you it's the best 3 semesters of high school, period, because we covered so much, and I've seen so many kids enter my program who could barely stand up and talk to getting to a point where they're so vocal and leadership driven, things of that nature, that just give us 1 semester.
What about your students that may be watching now? Anything you want to say to them?
The students that's probably watching now, they're probably thinking, I got a lot to say to them, and they know it. But I miss you guys, love you, and can't wait to see you again.
Captain DeCarlos Ware, first of all, thank you for your service to our country. Thank you for providing a great service for this community, and thanks for your time and coming by and see us.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on, sir.